Welcome to more creepy videos, and let's dive in.
I can't be the only one noticing something weird about Will Smith's new music, right? He teased one of his new songs today, and just listen to the lyrics.
I am the tongue, truth and the lie, both in tandem. I am the sun, and I'm the rain, and I'm the wind. I am for real, and I'm pretend. I am Musa, I am Jesus, I am Judas. I am the judge, I am the victim, and I'm the shooter. I'm in the Torah and the Quran.
And then a few weeks ago, when he sung his new gospel song at the BET Awards, the stage was him in a ring of fire with a dark red moon behind him and people in robes. Like, it just didn't make sense. Watch this.
Many tests for the flesh, exhausted, gasping to catch your breath. Walking through the valley of the shadow of death. When you think you got nothing left, keep going. Don't give up on me, I need you to hold on.
20 or 30 years ago, if you came out from the rooftops shouting that you were Jesus or Allah or even Buddha, you would have been institutionalized. But apparently in today's world, all you have to be is a dirty wee slapper and you can be who you want to be. But who would have thought?
Once you see the dog, it's going to be really hard to unsee it. But here's his mouth, his nose, his eye, his ear, and then obviously the body. Like, the picture is literally of a dog, so that's what we should be seeing. But for some reason, you can see like a possessed child's face. It's so strange.
I can see the demonic face straight away, but once she started pointing towards the eyes and the ears, I can no longer see it. So I reckon half of you will see it and half of you won't.
Today I am testing Pepsi on my microscope. So we're just going to do one drop and let's see if there's anything in it, because we know that Coca-Cola there is. So I've just put Pepsi Max under my microscope because I know that Coca-Cola has got nanorobots in, and I've left it only for about 10 minutes. And look at this. Look at this structure that's built. I mean, it's only been on my microscope a very, very short time, and this is building all over the slide. I mean, this is insane. So it's all over the slide. You can see the product. You can see the product in the back, the brown product that I put on the slide. But look, this is built everywhere. They're highly lit, and these look like networks already building.
So I just read up on some information regarding nanoparticles, and it can enter the body through lungs, intestinal tract and skin. It can also lead to cell death, DNA damage, oxidative stress, apoptosis, which is programmable cell death, and inflammatory responses. So my question is, if the government really cared about the people that much, why would they allow such chemicals to be released into the environment, into the atmosphere, and for us to consume it?
I'm about to blow y'all's mind. Dinner and a show. This is as satanic and sadistic as it gets. You can see them lift the lid off of a dinner plate and then exposing a blue man. This blue man is a representation of a Smurf. A Smurf is a child that unalived. That is why they're blue. The 2024 Paris Olympics are an absolute fucking disgrace. This is going to be overlooked by everybody, but I will tell you what this represents. I just want to say, first off, no, I don't care what you identify as. That makes no difference in the matter to me. And we're just going to overlook the sacrilegious recreation of the Last Supper. But back to the blue man. When I first saw this blue man, I was like, oh, that's weird. But it stuck with me. And I was like, what does this remind me of? Have you guys ever looked into the Smurf lore? Well, he is a representation of the Smurfs. Quick spark notes on Smurf lore. So fae creatures lure children into snowstorms where they unalive, and then mushrooms grow from these unalived bodies, and those mushrooms are where the Smurf people live. So as I was diving into this to just, refresh my mind on the Smurf lore, I found this, and now everything makes sense about this blue man.
the whole thing is, it's based on this, the homunculus, the idea that you can create a human life form without a mother or a father. So
Really? That's what the Smurfs are based on?
So Big Blue here is a representation of a homunculus Smurf. No, boys can have babies. Yep. You know who else was a homunculus? Baphomet. You needed any more confirmation? We got Snoop D-O-double-G walking the torch, rocking the ox chain. What do you think that chain is representing? This shit's just all up in our face. They're mocking us. It's disgusting. I will never watch the Olympics ever again. If everyone can do me a favor, like, comment, and share.
I'll not talk too much about this because I know it's being covered by other creators, but what I will say is that this is blasphemy and Satanism to its core. You know, the project managers, the overheads clearly knew exactly what they were doing with this event. And what I find funny is, you know, organizations and corporations like the Olympics, the government, etc., they bang on about, you know, diversity and equality. Tell me where's a good example where that's being shown. I like to spread truth and to try and wake people up. And if you're the same, smash that like button and subscribe button, and let's do it together.
Here's a conspiracy theory I think might be true. Last week, a Tesla crashed through a wall of my house. I was home when it happened. The first thing I did was check to make sure my roommate was okay. Then I called 911. Then I went outside and started taking pictures of the crash. My first picture was at 5:07 p.m. My first picture of the tow truck drivers trying to take the Tesla out of here was at 5:10 p.m. It had literally just happened minutes earlier, and so I was like, hey, can we pause for a second? Like, the cops are on their way right now, and the tow truck driver actually said to me, fuck you. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, my house just got ran into. Have some empathy. And no joke, he goes, here's your empathy. And I was like, oh my God, you're being that much of a dick right now? And he goes, get the fuck out of my way. And then he shoved me and he threatened to beat me up and kill me if I didn't let him get the car out of there. So my question is Tesla's automatic crash system alerting tow truck drivers? And are they offering them a bunch of money to get the car out of a situation before news cameras show up? They don't want any more negative press because those tow truck drivers were here so fast and they were so aggressive, there had to be a bunch of money on the line.
Getting to a crash site within 3 minutes is not impossible, but it's definitely super sus. I mean, is Elon Musk paying big money to tow truck drivers to try and get rid of the evidence? You know, is this a legitimate conspiracy theory? Or did the tow truck drivers so happen to be in the area and for whatever reasons just been having a stressful day? I'll leave that to you.
Yo, check this out. You hear that? That's static electricity when I reach my hand out over the edge. Wish I could shoot lightning bolts out of my fingers. This is wild. Crazy being up on top of a mountain in a thunderstorm. But check out that view down there. That is awesome. Absolutely beautiful out here. And the rain is kind of going sideways and up. Look at the hammer. Ooh, man, that just shocked me. Ouch. Probably not safe to be up here, but here we are. I paid $20 to get in. I'm gonna get my money's worth. Look at the hair on my arm. It's standing up. But I'm not gonna risk it too much. I think we'll call it good there.
If this ever happens to you, just run a mile and find somewhere to hide, because this happened to two brothers many years ago when they were on a mountain and one of their brothers ended up getting struck by lightning and ended up passing away. So I'm surprised this guy didn't end up like that guy in Home Alone.
This is wild.
Imagine if after World War II we had come upon laboratories where a drug was being produced that so virulent that when released into human populations, you could create a situation where 20 or 30 years after its introduction into a society of hundreds of millions of people, those people would use this drug on an average of 6 to 7 hours a day. being spent under the influence of this drug. This is, in fact, what television is. Television is a technological fix introduced into this country after World War II, and the statistics are that the average American watches 6.5 to 7 hours of TV a day. Now, just because you don't inject it into your good right arm doesn't mean that you don't have to look at the consequences of this kind of behavior. And one of the things that I'm very interested to communicate, and that I think must be communicated to society, or we're never going to have a mature dialogue about what's going on, is the fact that the pro-psychedelic position is an anti-drug position. And that, in fact, what is going on are consciousness wars. Wars designed to determine, shall we or shall we not be conscious? And how conscious shall we be? And the government is in the business of peddling deep unconsciousness. Its utter toleration for television, the unregulated nature of television's content, and just the scurrilous garbage that is tolerated going over the media, the government's tolerance for booze, the government's tolerance for heroin, and in fact its cynical use of heroin to eviscerate the political intent of the ghettos in this country, the government's tolerance of cocaine and its use by the yuppie class in order that the government have a source of income to prosecute its dirty little wars throughout the world. You see, all that the third world has to sell is drugs, and they can sell them into the United States and get hard currency, which they can then take to the CIA and translate into guns. And then the CIA has hard currency off the books to pay for its wars.
He was an intelligent man for his time, and I think back in 1993, people were consuming on average 67 hours a day watching TV. I mean, if you fast forward 30 years later, that consumption level will be much higher. And the thing is, with the government, that's exactly what they want. You know, if it really is a war on consciousness, then we know exactly why. They want us sleepy, and they want control, and we all know why they want control.
Lab-grown brains that are tortured until they learn to obey? No, this isn't the Matrix, this is real life. A Swiss company called Final Spark has created a hybrid biocomputer that combines lab-grown mini-human brains with electronic circuits. Final Spark has successfully launched Neural Platform, the world's first bioprocessing platform where human brain organoids, lab-grown miniaturized versions of organs, perform computational tasks instead of silicone chips. Because of the Swiss alchemist Paracelsus, we know homunculi were the first lab-grown miniature humans used for magical purposes, but now they're growing miniature human brains. This new neural platform saves a lot of energy compared to normal computers, but has a big problem. The mini brains keep wearing out and dying, so scientists have to keep growing new ones to replace them. These lab-grown brains are made up of around 10,000 living neurons each. A microfluidic system that provides water and nutrients keeps the brains alive. Researchers train these brains using a reward and punishment system. They are rewarded with dopamine for good performance and punished with chaotic stimuli for poor performance. This method, known as wetware computing, uses the brains until they can no longer function. In other words, these miniature human brains are tortured until they learn to obey and are literally worked to death.
So robots with lab-grown brains trained by negative and positive reinforcement, or obey and death, I mean, what could go wrong?
Amazon, the new Alexas have sonar capabilities, so they will not only be able to listen to you, but they can pinpoint where you are in your house at any given moment of time.
Why?
Exactly. Why would you need to know where the hell I am in my house?
Unless they're giving all that information to the government or something. And
well, I mean, they're picking up algorithms in your voice, you know, with your emotions and all these.
Man.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I've even thought about putting that EMF proof paint on all the interior of my house.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's no secret now, right?
Yeah.
They're always listening, whether it's Amazon or Facebook or the U.S. government. We have a box at the house, Faraday box. The phones go in the box.
Smart.
When we're not using them that way, nobody can listen. People need to start taking that stuff into account.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think it's paranoia anymore.
No, I mean, Amazon, from what I understand it, another guy really well-versed in the AI stuff said that Amazon, the new Alexas, have sonar capabilities.
Oh, man.
In our house, we have what's called Glass TV, and essentially you talk to it and it just directs you where you need to go. Now, the day that we bought it, we turned that function off, but even to this day, if we're talking away, having a crack or whatever, from time to time, the TV would just flash, show a mic icon, and then just direct us to some mad stuff. So I don't know why that is, but my question is, why is the government so concerned about what we are saying and what our conversations are?
Send a million miles.
When I said McDevils, everybody was like, ha ha ha. I said Taco Hell, ha ha ha. White Casket instead of White Castle, ha ha ha. So I went and looked up Popeye's chicken sandwich. Come to find out, they have over 40 ingredients in the Popeye's chicken sandwich. 32 of them were man-made chemicals. And I said, well, let's see what Chick-fil-A has. Well, black people got an emotional attachment to this Chick-fil-A spot. So when I said Chick-fil-A, over 50 chemicals in the chicken sandwich, over 40 of them were man-made chemicals. I said, so hell, this is a dope sandwich. So they really are flipping birds over there. Inside of beef, there were 21 drugs pumped into cows that were harmful to the human body. This was in the 60s. Because these drugs are in the meat, then you become addicted to it. I even was told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And they were trying to get you to buy the cereal that they was producing. We find ourselves suffering from illness and sickness unnecessarily. The oldest man in the scriptures named Methuselah, 969. How'd you live to be almost 1,000? He ate one meal, fasted 3 days, and then ate another meal. You eat like that, your body will never have enough toxins to even make you sick. I end up becoming a vegetarian that I feel now at the age of 48 better than I felt at the age of 15. They don't want you to know that they're drugging you, wanting the food not for nutritional value, but because you become addicted. Any foreign substance automatically activates the immune system, which means our bodies, when we eat this kind of food, they are fighting an unnecessary battle. So when the real battles of disease show up, the systems are too worn out by fighting these small battles every day from bad eating that they can't handle a virus when it shows up.
If you're eating a fast food meal that's injected with 30, 40, 50 different types of man-made chemicals, it's not injected for your taste, that's for sure. I mean, have you tasted fast food recently? It is bonk.
See, and you think I'm crazy. The first time I'm here by myself, there's a picture on the floor, and it just...
I'm trying to find the entrance, man. I'm over here by like this black car, this black trailer thing. What? Wait a minute. What the? Are you okay, ma'am?
Oh my god, I really feel like someone or something is watching me, but I'm all alone.
I may or may not have climbed up because there's no stairs. Oh fuck! Oh fucking shit!
Чего? Нету.
Нет. Чё? Нет, нет. Опять убери надолго.
Если я куплю, солю, я вас воткну.
Он двигается.
Observen claramente la puerta del panteón, díganme qué es.
¿Qué quiere?
When I was 6 years old, my family moved home, and once we got everything unpacked, we decided to watch a film. So we had the living room door closed, and we were watching Poltergeist, and it was at the scene where it shows the clown under the bed, and all of a sudden our living room door handle just shook violently up and down, and we all freaked out. And then we busted the door open, searched the whole house, and there was nothing there. So yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you.
Major suppliers have been caught using a special product known as meat glue to stick together scraps of meat to sell as prime cuts. Here's Rodney Lowe's with this special investigation.
I've just got some fine diced beef and my special enzyme. I'm just going to mix it up a bit.
Why have we got the masks on?
This is dangerous. See that? Don't breathe that in.
This powder is transglutamase enzyme, otherwise known as meat glue. Meat glues come in a number of forms, some produced by cultivating bacteria, the others, the primary ingredient comes from the blood plasma of pigs and cattle, specifically the coagulant which causes blood to clot. Ours uncooked is easy to spot the difference, but cooked is another story.
Okay, so the meat glue one is on the right and the real McCoy is on the left.
And it's not just beef. Pork, lamb, fish and chicken are all stuck back together using this glue.
If this food is sold or represented as a solid piece of steak and you cook it rare, you're really leaving yourself open to get food poisoning.
And chances are, unless you're a vegetarian, you're eating it on a regular basis.
The scary thing about this is how the real and the fake meat are imperceptible, and what's even more scarier is knowing that these are going to be dished out on the shelves all over the UK this year, if not already.
They're hiding this from you. New evidence shows there were ancient cities underwater, meaning our history is different from what we've learned. In 1985, the National Institute of Oceanography found an ancient underwater city called Dwarka off the coast of India. The city has intricately carved buildings, road systems, and mechanisms that used to move. They must have had access to knowledge that made them very advanced. But here is where it gets crazy. This city was mentioned in the Mahabharata. In the ancient Hindu text, it is known as the Gated City and is one of the 7 pilgrimage sites. At its peak, it had 900,000 royal palaces, all built with crystal, gold, and emeralds. At the end of their expedition, the team said the evidence confirms the existence of a city from 1500 BC. It is reasonable to assume it is the city mentioned in the Mahabharata. But things get even crazier. It is also said to be where Krishna, the Hindu god, used to live.
So this underwater city had moving mechanisms, they had advanced knowledge and probably technological advancements for its time as well. And I understand that both Krishna and Shiva, they both embodied aspects of destroyer and rebirth. So my question is, if the city was destroyed, then where's the rebirth? And when you think about the mechanics and the advancement of knowledge, etc., the first thing that comes to my mind is CERN.
Check this out. So clearly he's had some type of an injury to the arm where he's lost part of the radius and the ulna bones in the lower arm, including the elbow joint and some of the humerus bone probably up top. But he's got neurovascular supply still intact, still muscles intact. He can move the fingers, but largely this is a non-functional limb. And so maybe in his country or wherever it is that he lives, amputation wasn't a choice, but most of the time these are non-functional and they don't serve the person and they can actually be quite a hindrance. So you're going to see him grab the hand here and you'll see him move the fingers, but poor guy. I'm sure it's tough living with this and removing it would be easier.
So if you were in this guy's shoes and you had the option to either keep the arm or remove the arm, what would you rather do with it?
It's been well over 30 days in Tennessee since Congress banned chemtrails. We used to have stripes all day long, every day in the sky. Oh, I thought that was a conspiracy theory. Isn't that funny how all the stripes just disappeared out of the sky magically as soon as they banned it? Not a single one.
I got curious and thought to myself, there's no way they're able to ban chemtrails in any state or any part of the world for that matter, but turns out they can. So the SB 2691/HB 2063 bill actually does indicate here that it prohibits the intentional injection, release or dispersion of chemicals into the atmosphere within the state's borders. So who would have thought?
Watch his eyes.
I know it was intentionally sculptured that way to give the illusion that it's following you, but can you imagine you walking around there at 3 o'clock in the morning half lamped? I mean, it would creep the head out of you.
A new and alarming tactic is being used by criminals, and it's truly terrifying. When this teenager girl was walking along the street, she was approached by a seemingly normal man asking for directions as she tried to give him directions. He kept asking questions and shoving the book only inches from her face. The girl grew uneasy, sensing something was off. He finally lets her continue on her walk, but as she does, she begins holding her head as if she is not feeling well all of a sudden. That's when a woman begins approaching her and begins walking her the other way towards her accomplice. But not before another woman, having seen situation unfold, walks towards them and argues to let the girl go. She ultimately did manage to get them to let her go under her care. It seems Book has been covered in anesthetic drug that causes the inhaler to immediately feel dizzy and weak, hence the perpetrator using a mask.
It's absolutely frightening the methods they use and the lengths they would go to try and capture you. I mean, this isn't only applicable to women, this is also applicable to men. And if anything, this clip shows great awareness. So the next time you're out and about and someone approaches you with a book, you know exactly what to do.
What are you picking up the kids for?
She's mom, nothing.
You know, you picked up a little girl a few minutes ago as well. You love kids.
Yeah.
You can't touch kids. They're not your kids.
You love kids.
They're not your kids.
You love kids.
No, don't.
You love kids, mate.
What you've just witnessed has sadly become the norm down the south, and it's only going to get worse, and it's also going to get worse down here in the north as well.
When you have a bad day, give up. Go home and sleep. Fuck it. Try again tomorrow. Not every bad day can become a good day. Some days are fucked and cannot be unfucked. When you have a day that is fucked beyond repair, that is the universe.
Gary, you very, very careful. Be careful. Stop, Gary, stop. What? Gary, there's a deaf Dalmatian in the area. Okay, just be careful. Yeah.
If you enjoyed this compilation, I've got a completely different compilation right here. But that's it for today, guys. Smash that like button and subscribe button. And until the next video, look after yourselves, stay safe and stay healthy. And I'll see you then.